Base Democrats are very worried their leaders will buckle to political hostage-taking of the Republicans, just like they did on the debt ceiling earlier today. And joining me now is Margie Omero, president of Momentum Analysis and a Democratic pollster. Margie, why do you believe this super committee could be so dangerous?
Well, I think I understand why people are frustrated with how this process went and how Democrats in particular are frustrated with how the Tea Party seemed to take this whole process hostage. But I think it would be a mistake to look at this and say Republicans haven't paid any political costs and that's going to translate to something even worse down the road. Because remember that Republicans now, all these members are going home to their districts. They're going to be listening to the voters who they expect to say, thanks for not closing my boss's tax loopholes. But really, they're going to be saying, what were you thinking? I mean, all the polls that I've seen from the last week have shown that voters really feel that Obama did a better job and Democrats in Congress did a better job than Republicans. Republicans have paid a far larger cost in public opinion, and they're going to feel that when they go home. And there's going to be incentive, therefore, for them to not stack the committee or to look at it in a way that's not balanced, that's not a reasonable debate.
So you think Republicans may come back to Washington after this recess and be a touch reformed to the point of where they could even capitulate on taxing the rich?
Well, I think that, well, it's not as much taxing the rich, because I think it's important to remind people that this isn't about raising the tax rate for everybody or even the rich. It's really just closing some loopholes. But I think that the way this is set up, the way that the committee is set up, is that, you know, it'll be balanced. It'll be, 6 and 6 from each side. And it's that whatever they come up with is going to then go to an up or down vote. So it's not going to be subject to amendments and the filibuster process that we've seen kind of add to the complexity and the political wrangling that goes on. So you don't have that element there. And, remember that there have been some proposals, whether it's the Gang of Six or even Boehner himself, that have had some revenue increases that have gotten some Republican support. So it's not as if every single Republican in both chambers is opposed to anything resembling revenue increase, because that's not true. And then worst case scenario, if they, insist on having this very political attitude that voters have really rejected, clearly, there's another option. There are other options. In this last debate, there were a few other options. In the current, after the committee, the president could, the trigger goes off, and then everybody has to suffer. If there's no committee agreement, then you end up seeing, more military cuts. And we already had a variety of military cuts, and I don't think Republicans are going to want to see that happen. Plus, you have the Bush tax cuts expiring. So there's some other options.
Margie Omero of Momentum Analysis. Margie, great to see you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.